Live from downtown Detroit, Local 4 News at noon starts now.
Governor Whitmer not holding back today as the fallout continues at home on possible end of the Roe versus Wade decision. That tops our news this noon. It is what everyone is talking about. Thank you for joining us. 6 county prosecutors have filed a brief supporting the governor's abortion lawsuit with Michigan Supreme Court. She is trying to have a 1931 abortion law declared unconstitutional. Let's get to Victor Williams, who joins us now live, where Governor Whitmer just spoke, I understand.
Yes, that is correct, Rhonda. And in a way, the governor anticipated this happening. She filed this lawsuit about a month and a half ago to reserve the right to abort right here in the state of Michigan. Now, today she made that very clear when asked where the state stands at this somewhat uncertain time regarding abortions nationwide. Now, she's asking the state Supreme Court to make the decision under our state constitution that women's rights are protected to make their own choices regarding their bodies.
Regardless of what happens with SCOTUS, we have an opportunity in Michigan. We've seen other states take it. It is time for us to make sure that we secure this right for Michigan women as well. And that's precisely why it is important for our state Supreme Court to take my case and to rule. Time is of the essence. I know a lot of people thought, oh, that's never going to happen. And a lot of people thought when I filed the lawsuit, that's not necessary. Obviously, in the last 36 hours, we've seen how serious it is and why this is necessary and why right now it is important for the court to take it up.
And the governor is also inviting people to join in on this fight to protect reproductive rights for women. It's something that the mayor is also joining in on board for, and we'll have more on this at 5 p.m. tonight. Victor Williams, Local 4.
All right, Victor, thank you. And there is growing fallout from that leaked Supreme Court draft opinion on abortion. You are taking a live look at the scene of a protest that is happening right outside of the United States Supreme Court. People have gathered across the country from both sides of this issue. NBC's Bree Jackson is there in Washington with the latest.
An investigation into the leaked draft opinion is already underway, and the fallout is expected to spill into the midterm elections.
Rise up for abortion rights, rise up for abortion.
From New York City to San Francisco and cities in between, advocates on both sides of the abortion debate are energized.
Abortion is not the only option, in fact, it's probably the worst option.
The decision to make abortions illegal will not stop them from happening. It will only stop them from happening safely.
The leaked document indicates justices are ready to strike down the landmark 1973 ruling establishing abortion rights nationwide.
The idea that it concerns me a great deal that we're going to, after 50 years, decide a woman does not have a right to choose within the limits of the Supreme Court decision.
Should justices overturn Roe versus Wade, roughly 25 states will likely ban abortion. 13 of them have trigger laws, meaning it will be immediately outlawed. Meanwhile, states like Connecticut are taking steps to increase access to abortion services.
Honor their choices. Respect the law that has stood for as long as I have been alive.
The issue has long divided the country. A leak of this nature raises concerns about the future of abortion and politics within the high court.
Because so much is based on trust, and this is as serious a violation of the promise to keep things secret as you could possibly imagine.
Chief Justice John Roberts calls the leak a singular and egregious breach of trust and ordered an immediate investigation. Senate Democrats are now pushing for a federal law to protect abortion rights. It's unlikely that they'll have the votes needed for it to pass. In Washington, I'm Bree Jackson for NBC News.
All right, Bree, thank you. And of course, right here at Local 4 and clickondetroit.com, we will continue to keep you updated on every new development. A 4-year-old is in the hospital after a shooting. Let's get straight out to Local 4's Sean Lay with more on what we're learning about the investigation. I understand there's a lot of confusion so far about where this may have even happened.
Well, confusion, but also lying. Frankly, we're told by sources, by mom and uncle, who are here at Detroit Police Headquarters right now being talked to by detectives, and charges against both of them will likely be requested from the prosecutor after sending police on a wild goose chase all night long. Here's what we know right now. We'll show you a scene here at Joy and Evergreen over on the west side. This is where a mother apparently reported that her child was shot very early this morning, and apparently we are told by police that's simply not true. The child was shot hours earlier, sometime yesterday, late afternoon or evening, inside her home in Taylor, when an uncle apparently fired a gun accidentally through the floor upstairs, hitting the 4-year-old boy downstairs with bird shot. Had that gun been loaded up with buckshot, we're talking about another tragedy here. But instead of rushing to the boy to the hospital or calling 911 and calling for an ambulance, apparently the mom with her little boy drove around to various locations, different homes, eventually ending up at Sinai Grace Hospital. Police are telling us Sinai Grace saw the boy, transferred the boy to Children's Hospital for treatment at some point hours later. But Sinai Grace apparently did not call police to report a child shot. Children's eventually called police, and then all night long, detectives have had to unravel what happened here to get them all the way back from Children's down to a home in Taylor to find out exactly what happened. I just spoke to the police chief here about this whole mess.
Still shot nonetheless, expected to make a full recovery, so that's a bit of good news. From there, it gets extremely complicated. We don't know where it happened. We don't even think at this point, well, let me say this, we don't know at this point if it even happened in our city, but we're still investigating.
Back here live now in just a couple of last minutes. I got an address down in Taylor. Police are going there with this search warrant. Taylor police are on the phone with Detroit police here. They will continue to investigate here, but uncle and mom are here, and apparently they will get this case over to the prosecutor. The boy is expected to be okay, but the chief is very troubled from the time when this shot went off to hours later, and they're still trying to determine, Rhonda, how many hours later until a medical professional was able to see and treat this little boy. Much more on this later. Back to you.
And hopefully they can get to the bottom of all of that, but thankfully that little boy is going to be okay. Sean, thank you. It is time now to talk about the weather. We've got a little sunshine out there, hoping we can inch up with the temperatures, Brandon.
It's been a tough battle the last 90 minutes or so as the sun has tried to bust through, and it's working, and it's making a difference. We've jumped up a solid 4 or 5 degrees just in the last hour. You see a lot of middle 50s metro zone, 10 to 12 Celsius across southern Ontario. Still 48 degrees in Sterling Heights. We have these northeast winds coming off of Lake Huron, so it does feel a little cooler up north, and probably not going to get wall-to-wall sunshine because of those breezes off of the big lakes, but a decent sun-cloud mix and temps into the low 60s. Doubleheader at Comerica. First one starts in about an hour, and we are going to clear these clouds out more and more through the mid-late afternoon. Game 2 against the Pirates at Comerica will be about a half hour after the first game ends, and temps will fall from the lower 60s back down through the 50s. So light jacket weather, a good idea. You can get our local forecasters app that talks all about where we're at weather-wise, the next wet weather on the way. Download it for free. You can hold the phone of your camera right up to that QR code, that box in the middle of your screen. Rhonda.
All right, Brandon, thank you. Now turning our attention to the Russian war on Ukraine. Russia has stormed that steel plant we've been talking about for weeks now in Mariupol, which was the last pocket of Ukrainian resistance in that city. So far, just 100 women and children and elderly have been safely evacuated from that plant, but it's believed nearly 2,000 people are still stuck inside, and Russia has been shelling it repeatedly. Meanwhile, the European Union is proposing a new ban on Russian oil imports to punish Moscow for the war. And here at home, Congress is working to finalize President Biden's request for $33 billion additional dollars to continue to aid Ukraine. A big honor for Detroit hip-hop artist Eminem. He has been voted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, making the first cut in his first time on the ballot. Eminem is just the 10th hip-hop artist to be inducted. Voting is done by more than 1,000 artists, historians, and music history pros, and this might make you feel old. In order to be eligible, an artist's first record has to be released 25 years prior. Other honorees for 2022 include Dolly Parton and Lionel Richie. Believe it or not, neither of them were in yet. The induction ceremony will be held in November in Los Angeles. So big congratulations to Eminem. And wow, what a long career he's had. To think he's been at it for over 25 years.